You've recognized the game. You feel the friction between your effort and your results. This cognitive dissonance is the first symptom of awakening. You are realizing that the world operates not on the stated rules of meritocracy, but on the unspoken laws of power dynamics. This isn't a cause for despair. It is a call to arms. The frustration you feel is fuel. It is the energy that will propel you from being a participant in someone else's system to the architect of your own. This journey is not about becoming a villain. It is about becoming a realist. It is about trading fragile idealism for unshakable capability. What follows is a structured path, a blueprint, for this transformation. Tier 1, the foundation, mastering the self. Before you can influence the external world, you must achieve total dominion over your internal one. A reactive mind is a weak mind. Your first empire is your own psyche. 1. The unbreachable mind, weaponized silence and stillness. The principle. Information is the currency of power. Those who speak reveal their currency, those who listen collect it. Silence is not merely the absence of speech, it is a pressurized field that compels others to fill the void, often with their insecurities, strategies, and desires. The practice. The 5-second rule, in any negotiation or conversation, after the other person finishes speaking, consciously count to 5 in your head. Observe their discomfort. They will often continue talking, refining their offer, or revealing crucial information to break the tension. Active listening, passive revealing, train yourself to listen with the intent to understand, not to reply. Your goal is to map the other person's psychology. Reveal information about yourself only when it serves a strategic purpose, to build rapport, to demonstrate value, or to misdirect. 2. The phantom self, cultivating unreadability. The principle, predictability is control. If your reactions can be anticipated, you can be manipulated. Markets, advertisers, and manipulators prey on predictable emotional responses, fear of missing out, greed, insecurity. To become unreadable is to become immune to these external pressures. The practice. Neutralize your tells. Practice maintaining a neutral facial expression and calm body language in situations that typically trigger a reaction, criticism, a surprising bill, market volatility. Record yourself on video to identify and eliminate tells. Decouple emotion from action, feel the emotion, but do not let it dictate your decision. Acknowledge the fear, then make the rational choice despite it. This space between stimulus and response is where your power resides. 3. The Titan's discipline, predator's patience. The principle, impulsivity is the tax of the poor. The impatient bleed resources chasing the immediate dopamine hit of a purchase or the quick fix. Wealth is a gravitational force that accumulates around nodes of calm, disciplined patience. The practice. The 72-hour rule, for any significant non-essential purchase or investment decision, impose a mandatory 72-hour waiting period. This cools the emotional heat and allows your strategic mind to evaluate the move. Seasonal thinking, stop planning your week, start planning your year and your 5 years. Ask yourself, what will this decision mean for me in 1 year? In 5 years? Align your actions with long-term trajectories, not short-term noise. Tier 2, the framework, mastering the system. With an unbreachable internal foundation, you now learn to navigate and manipulate the external systems that govern the flow of resources. 4. The law of leverage, the antidote to time. The principle, you cannot become wealthy by selling your hours. Hours are a finite, depleting resource. Leverage is the art of using other resources to multiply your output. There are 3 primary forms of leverage. Capital, using money to make money, investment, acquiring assets. Labor. Using other people's time and skills, building a business, delegation. Technology/code, creating assets that work infinitely without your constant input, software, digital products, IP. The practice, audit your life. For every hour you spend working, ask, can this task be systemized, delegated, or turned into a scalable asset? Your goal is to progressively shift your time from direct income-generating activities, trading hours for dollars, to leveraged activities, building and managing systems. 5. The dominion of perception, controlling the narrative. The principle: humans are not rational actors, they are emotional beings who rationalize decisions made by their feelings. Reality is secondary to perception. The person who controls the narrative controls the value assigned to people, objects, and ideas. The practice: reframing value, stop selling features, what it is, start selling transformation, what it does for the buyer's identity, status, or emotional state. A watch isn't a timekeeping device, it's a symbol of heritage and precision. A course isn't information, it's a gateway to a new version of oneself. Craft your story, your personal brand is a narrative. What is the story of your expertise? Your reliability? Your vision? Consistently communicate this story through your actions, words, and presentation. Tier 3, the arsenal, advanced strategic applications. This is where philosophy becomes action. These are the applied tactics of a strategic mind. 6. The art of strategic withholding. The application: in negotiation, never be the first to state a number. The anchor effect is powerful. Withhold your needs and deadlines. Let the other party invest time and energy into the deal first. This creates sunk cost fallacy, making them more likely to concede to your terms later to avoid walking away empty-handed. Understanding the principles is one thing. Weaving them into the very fabric of your daily existence is another. This is where theory dies and true power is born. You must build an operating system, a set of ruthless routines and filters, that automatically applies these laws without you having to consciously think about them. Your daily rituals: forging the armor. The morning sovereignty audit: the first hour of your day does not belong to the world, it belongs to your empire. Before checking notifications, emails, or news, which are all designed to hijack your agenda, you must assert control. Silence: 10 minutes sit in absolute quiet. Not meditation with a goal, but a practice of stillness. Let the mental chatter rise and fall without engaging. This is the daily calibration of your internal compass. Intentionality mapping: 15 minutes on a piece of paper, write down your key objectives for the day. Not your tasks, but your intentions. Leverage a conversation, withhold a reaction to provoke a reveal, observe a market trend without impulsively acting. This sets your strategic tone. Contrarian input: 5 minutes, briefly scan headlines not for information, but for narrative. Ask: what story is being sold here? What is the herd being made to feel? What is the inverse of this emotional reaction? The evening reconnaissance and interrogation: the day is a battlefield of information. You must debrief yourself. What did I learn? Not what happened, but what data did you extract? What weaknesses, desires, or patterns did you observe in others? In the market? In yourself? Where did I react emotionally? Pinpoint the exact moments you felt triggered: anger, fear, insecurity, flattery. These are your vulnerabilities. Acknowledge them. Plan to weaponize silence in that scenario tomorrow. What leverage did I create or identify? Did you systemize a task? Did you identify an inefficiency to exploit? Did you use narrative to frame a situation more effectively? The filters, governing every interaction. Every conversation, email, and opportunity must pass through these strategic filters before it consumes your energy. The leverage filter: will this action create scalable, repeatable value, or is it a one-time exchange of my time? The narrative filter: what story is being told here? What story am I telling? How can I control this narrative to shape perception? The silence filter: is it necessary for me to speak now, or would withholding serve me better? What can I learn by saying nothing? The ultimate shift, from predator to architect. The predator mindset is a powerful transitional phase. It gets you out of the herd. But ultimate power is not in preying on the weak, it is in building systems so resilient and magnetic that they attract and create wealth autonomously. You evolve from a hunter to a builder. From a predator to an architect. The architect does not chase, they design the maze others willingly enter. They do not exploit people, they exploit inefficiencies and psychologies on a mass scale. They build a legacy, not just a fortune. The architect's tools. Systemic leverage, you are no longer just leveraging people or capital. You are leveraging ideas and paradigms. You create a business model, a technology, or a philosophy that becomes a standard. Think of the Apple ecosystem, the Amazon logistics web. They built a world others live in. Compoundable assets, the architect invests only in assets that have network effects or compounding returns. This includes financial capital, intellectual property, a loyal audience, and a powerful network. Each asset makes the others more valuable. Legacy narrative, the ultimate application of narrative is not to sell a product, but to craft a mythos. Elon Musk isn't selling cars, he's selling a narrative of humanity's multiplanetary future. This narrative attracts talent, capital, and customer evangelism that transcends commerce. The danger and the responsibility. This knowledge is a weapon. And like any weapon, it carries a weight of responsibility. The shadow side of these principles is profound. Silence can become isolation. Unreadability can become paranoia. Leverage can become sociopathic exploitation. Narrative can become deceptive propaganda. The difference between a tyrant and a visionary, between a criminal and a titan of industry, is not the tools they use, but the purpose and ethics to which they apply them. Your North Star, build to create. Leverage to elevate. Use your understanding of human nature to design systems that generate genuine value, empower others, and solve real problems. The wealth that follows will be a testament to your value creation, not your capacity for extraction. This is how you build a legacy that lasts generations, not just a bank account that lasts a lifetime. The path is clear. The initiation is complete. You are now armed with the map. The journey ahead is yours to walk. Move silently, build relentlessly, and leave a mark on the world that cannot be erased. You now possess the components, the internal pillars, the external frameworks, and the daily rituals. True mastery, however, lies not in practicing these in isolation, but in weaving them into a single, unbreakable fabric, a strategic synthesis where each principle reinforces the others. The virtuous cycle of power. Your silence creates space for observation. Your observation reveals inefficiencies, to exploit, and patterns, to leverage. Identifying these opportunities requires patience to execute at the perfect moment. Executing with patience builds your leveraged assets. Your growing assets provide the security and confidence to deepen your silence and unreadability. Your unreadability protects your assets and allows you to control the narrative. This is a self-reinforcing loop. You are not just using tactics, you are becoming a system of power. A single crack in this structure, a moment of emotional reactivity, an impatient leap, an unforced revelation, can break the cycle. Your daily practice is the maintenance of this architecture. The seventh law, the law of reciprocal reality. This is the meta-law that governs all others. It states, the world does not reflect who you are, it reflects what you have trained it to believe you are through consistent action and inaction. Your reality is not a fixed state. It is a negotiation between your actions and the world's reactions. If you train people that you are reactive, they will trigger you to control you. If you train the market that you are impulsive, it will take your money. If you train the world that your time is cheap, it will treat it as such. Conversely, if you train people that you are silent and unreadable, they will approach you with caution and respect, often leading with their best offers. If you train the market that you are patient and decisive, you will buy its assets at a discount. If you train the world that your attention is valuable and must be earned, it will strive to earn it. Every interaction is a training session. You are either training others how to treat you, or you are being trained by them. The architect understands this and consciously, deliberately, trains his reality to respond to his will. The final evolution, from architect to sovereign. The ultimate application of this knowledge is not to build an empire out there, a vast fortune that you must constantly defend with the same Machiavellian tension. The ultimate application is to achieve sovereignty. The sovereign is not the richest person in the room. The sovereign is the freest. The sovereign has internalized the game to such a degree that he can choose to play or not play. His power is not contingent on external validation, it is an internal state of complete autonomy. He possesses the ultimate luxury, the power of choice. He can engage in a negotiation not because he needs the money, but because the puzzle interests him. He can wield narrative not to deceive, but to inspire and build something meaningful. He can leverage systems not just for profit, but to create lasting, positive change that aligns with his values. The Machiavellian principles become not a cage of cold calculation, but tools of ultimate expression. They protect his peace, fuel his creativity, and enable his generosity on his own terms. The journey began with frustration, the feeling of being prey. It moved through the awakening of becoming a predator. It evolved into the constructive power of the architect. It culminates in the serene, untouchable autonomy of the sovereign. This is the endgame. Not just wealth, but wholeness. Not just power, but peace. Not just control over others, but absolute command over your own existence.